Welcome to Southern California and ESPN's presentation of the PBA Tour. Today, 34-time titleist Pete Weber makes his first televised appearance of the season, and it couldn't have happened at a more meaningful tournament. Since the beginning, the one constant in Pete Weber's world was his legendary father, Dick Weber. Over the years, Pete's success has always been overshadowed by his father's Hall of Fame career. But Pete eventually silenced his critics. After the passing of his father, Pete's in-your-face style persevered. Today, he guns for the title in the tournament that bears his father's name. The Motel 6 Dick Weber Open is next. We are in Fountain Valley, California, just south of Los Angeles. Today, the Fountain Bowl hosts the 12th event of this season's PBA Tour. 5 finalists, all of them with compelling storylines. Mike Scroggins trying to end an absolutely brutal TV losing streak. More on number 4 seed Weber in a moment. It's been 102 events since Delutz last won. Jurek last won in 95. And your number 1 seed, Chris Barnes, trying to win his first title of the season. But the dominant theme is Pete Weber's presence here in the tournament named in honor of his late father. Good Sunday to you. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson here with you. And Pete Weber could not have picked a more appropriate time to make his first televised appearance of the season. And Randy, he was telling us yesterday, a win today would rank right up there with his 4 U.S. Open titles.
Yeah, this is like a major for Pete Weber, and we all know how much he likes winning majors. He's won 8 of them. You know, I talk about Walter Ray being the greatest player ever. Well, Pete Weber is the best physical talent this sport has ever seen. Here's Pete winning his 4th U.S. Open title last season. There's only 2 other players that have ever done it in the history of our sport, and that's the great Don Carter and his late father, Dick Weber.
To win the title today, though, he'll have to be victorious in 4 matches, including a final versus number 1 seed Chris Barnes.
Nobody has made more telecasts since 2000 than Chris Barnes, but he struggled under the bright lights. Today he's in the best position as the tournament leader, needing only 1 win to capture his 9th title.
And number 5 seed Mike Scroggins will bat leadoff here in match number 1. Scroggins taking on the Hall of Famer Pete Weber. Scroggins, the sole lefty today, and that is a distinct advantage, Randy.
He'll have the whole left side of the lane to himself.
And he's
in practice trying to build the spot. A little friction to the left and some oil to the right.
Leaves the 7. These lanes have been funky, have been resistant, resilient, perplexing, all kinds of adjectives that we can throw out and the players have thrown at us. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Scroggins trying to pick up the opening spare. Single pin pickups have been an issue, and he was able to nudge that one to the side.
Rob, you talked about the oil pattern this week, and it's very similar to a U.S. Open pattern. The lanes were very tough all week long, low scores. And how appropriate when the tournament's named after Dick Weber. Dick Weber, one of the best grinders ever on tour.
That figures.
Ooh, a lot of meat left on that bone.
That figures.
The guys have played multiple angles all week long. Pete decided late in practice before we went on the air to play the outside part of the lane. The problem is if you get it just a little bit right of target, you leave the 2-4-10.
So Weber begins with an open frame. And we saw both of these guys really kind of struggling during warm-ups to find their groove, to find a nice window on these lanes.
The good news for the players is that everybody's going to bowl in the same oil pattern. Hopefully they'll be able to create a little bit better reaction as the day goes on.
It's been low scoring all week here.
It's a little better.
An improvement for Weber, but still no strikes.
Well, obviously this is better than the first shot. Leaves himself an easy spare of the 4-pin. Right now it's all about just making shots, trying to get the ball to the pocket, and when you don't strike, making your spare.
Scroggins comes up, and he is in the midst of an 8-game television losing streak, 5th longest all-time. 2 more defeats in a row, and he ties the all-time record for losses on television. 1-10 on TV since winning the 05 USBC Masters. Yeah! And we talked about the challenging conditions and what it's done to the scores this week.
Qualifying 193 average. Match play, you see the averages go up just a little bit, but look how low those scores are. We're used to seeing the guys averaging in the 220s, 230s, and even 240s for the week, but not this week. And why, you ask? They're using the same equipment. It's the same guys throwing the bowling balls down the lanes, but here's the deal. No matter what you're throwing, no matter who's bowling on it, you put the oil down a certain way, and you control scores. You can make them high or low. This week, they were low.
Scroggins walked right away from that one as soon as it left his left paw. Didn't even come close to that 1 pin.
Well, Mike Scroggins is going to whiff the head pin here as soon as he lets go of it. He knows that it's left of target, and it's got no chance of getting back. The oil pattern, the way it played this week, was what we call a reverse block, where the middle part of the lane hooks more than the outside part of the lane. That's the toughest lane condition you can bowl on.
Almost able to pick up that spin.
Well, this is the way you're supposed to do it, but he just catches the head pin a little too thin, throws it in front of the 7. Not a real good break. Well, let's see if Pete Weber can find the pocket on this right lane.
Much better.
Beautiful shot there. You know, when I watch Pete Weber's form, what comes to mind is efficiency of motion. There just looks like there's no wasted motion at all. Watch this beautiful form that's really stood the test of time. His backswing is just a little bit lower than it used to be. Notice the open hand at the bottom of the swing. Through release, there's no grab. There's no clutching at the release point.
Whoa. Almost a Brooklyn strike there.
Can't get a good feel.
And it's hard to get a good feel when, in your mind, you feel like you have about an inch at the target or at the arrows to hit. Otherwise, your ball doesn't hit the pocket. It's like bowling in a phone booth.
Open frame, spare, strike, spare for Weber, who has a 1-pin lead right now. Scroggins 0-2 on television this season. Here's how he came to be bowling today.
Great match play record. 18 wins in 24 round-robin match games is pretty strong.
Can't get that 7 again.
We were talking to Mike Scroggins last night. He told us, you know, he was winning games with 2-0s and 190s. And in fact, like game 6 or 7 Friday night, he shot 183-1 and actually moved up 3 places. So just a huge emphasis on winning matches. That 30 bonus pins that you get for winning a match played huge.
Another single pin pickup for Scroggins, which is good news for him. He's had an issue with those. Randy, we mentioned that 8-game TV losing streak. Since winning that USBC Masters title in 05, he has missed 5 single pin conversions on television.
Yeah, and you don't see professionals do that very often. Right now, it's just a mental thing for Mike, and he told us, he says, you know, I just have to get by that first match. If I can get 1 win under my belt, I'm home free.
That one looked nice. Perfect pocket.
The problem for him is to get by his first match, he's got to beat one of the greatest bowlers in the history of the game. Pretty tall task when you're trying to take down PDW.
Come on.
Weber with a 1-pin advantage as he opens up his rolling here in the 5th. Here's how he qualified. Working on a spare. Whoa. Again, left of that 1-pin.
Go, don't you?
Won the 04 U.S. Open here at Fountain Bowl.
Left of target, the ball has no chance of staying on line.
Refuse to let it go.
And this isn't the easiest spare you can shoot at. 369.
That one curled in nice, missing the head pin, at least the way he wanted it to on his opening roll here in the 5th. He gets the spare, and we just want to apologize for some transmission issues we're having here right now.
Is that hard?
Trying to take those gremlins out of the truck right now as we continue with our coverage here. Match number 1 between Pete Weber and Mike Scroggins.
Pete really turned it on in round 3 when he only lost 1 game. In fact, it was because of Pete that Parker Bone III isn't on the telecast today. Look out.
Whoa! Did that in practice, too. God.
All right, we talk about how tough the lane conditions are and how they're tighter to the outside part of the lane. Watch this. This ball gets out to the 1.5 board and almost goes in.
I guess there is an out of bounds there.
This is like the Freddy Krueger oil pattern.
If you like watching real low-scoring NFL football games, you've come to the right place today. This is like football in the mud.
Well, a nice pickup on the spare after a horrendous break on his opening pin, but the energy is still there from Weber. He's seeking his career televised win number 106, second most in PBA history. Find out if he gets it when we return. The Motel 6 Dick Weber Open is brought to you by Motel 6, official lodging partner of the PBA. By Denny's. Denny's always works. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit geico.com. And by Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com for a free DVD. What will you discover? Go RVing.
The reason to me that Dick Weber is the greatest is because how he is off the lane. On the lanes, I still think he's the best. But he's the best ambassador the game has ever had, the best spokesperson the game will ever see. He never missed a function, and he showed up everywhere.
Rob, I don't know of anyone that didn't respect Dick Weber. You know, him and I had just a great relationship. I had so much respect for him, I called him Mr. Weber. And the kind of guy that Dick was, he didn't like me calling him Mr. Weber, so he called me Mr. Peterson. But he was definitely our sports Arnold Palmer. He was just a tremendous man, and it was an honor to know him.
Arguably bowling's greatest ambassador. We are back with our live coverage of the Motel 6 Dick Weber Open. Just 3 strikes have been rolled so far, 2 by that man, Mike Scroggins, which has given him a 9-pin advantage as he begins his play in the 6th frame. Pete Weber coming off a 3 spare. That's something my son might bowl, minus the spare part.
I guarantee you I could do that a lot on this one.
And that's not a knock on Pete Weber. We're going to talk more about these lane conditions in a second, Randy. Here's Scroggins working on a strike. These leaves are uncharacteristic.
Well, Mike Scroggins either hits the pocket or he leaves a washout. He's done that twice now. And big-time struggles since winning the 05 USBC Masters.
That's a pickup.
I got one.
And that's what you're going to need to win today.
This week.
You're going to need to knock down that jump.
You got to cover frames. You've got to avoid open frames. Cover your spares. When you leave splits and washouts, convert them. Beautifully done. Mike Scroggins says the first one this week. I'm going to bet he had a lot of opportunities shooting that washout.
Last 3 frames. Spare, strike, spare. Scroggins.
All right.
Now, you almost take some solace in that your first ball is going to drop down 9. You're actually feeling somewhat good about yourself.
Absolutely, especially when you have a lead. Right now, if Mike Scroggins spares here, we'll have an 8-pin lead. Pete Weber working on a spare in the 7th frame.
So no issues on the solo pin pickups for Scroggins so far today. And Randy, you've played here. What's the best way to get to that pocket with these conditions?
Well, any time that I've ever seen a pattern like this where it's this tough, U.S. Open-like patterns, I always felt that the straighter you could go, the better off you were from any angle.
There we go.
Pete checking the approach, a little stickage there. And that's a huge break, tripping the 4. That could have been a 4-9 real easy. Watch this. For a guy that always sticks the landing pretty good. There's Pete slipping just a little bit. And after he let go of it, he was just hoping it stayed on the lane. It did. Trip 4. Now working on a strike, he can take the lead right here.
He's found it. We asked him how he played the lanes this week. I'm not even sure this is a word. He said, I played them confusingly. 4th arrow and deeper, then the lanes changed. Rarely a problem on the right lane. Not the case for the left lanes. Kept moving left, and the ball would hook earlier. And then I'd get trapped. Scroggins to respond.
Well, the boys needed a roadmap this week to get to the pocket. Remember, the players are moving lanes after every match game. Crossing the house, going from the low end to the high end to the middle. The house played different all over the place. These guys were playing everywhere. Even Mike Scroggins said he played anywhere from 2 to 13. And, all right, another spare conversion. Single pin spare conversion for Mr. Scroggins.
We're going to be a little light in the ham bone department. We'll be lucky to see very many 3-baggers, if any, at all, although Weber has an opportunity for one when he steps up here in the 9th. Last 3 frames for Scroggins have been spare, spare, spare. He's now down 3.
Carry.
Yeah. Liked it and got it.
Nice pitch there. Looked like he bumped it just a little bit further left, went with some more speed and a little bit more direct. Now, the danger for Pete Weber, he does have a double, but remember when he doesn't hit the pocket, the really bad leaves that he ends up leaving himself.
He's found the pocket. 3-bagger for Weber. As we take a look at our atomic edge and how Pete Weber does what he does so well.
Rob, it's all about timing, and with a high backswing, you got to get the ball into the swing early. That gets Pete's feet moving quickly. Notice how steady the head is and that beautiful release at the bottom of the swing. Pete is 1 shot away from really locking this match up. All he needs to do is let go of it.
God.
Well, he asked for it to hook, and this one hooked just a little bit more than he wanted it. Watch this back-end reaction. You see the hand flip around the side. That creates that side rotation. And Pete,
I don't know what
the ultimate 4-9 break there, hitting the pocket. Bad break at a really bad time.
Oh, that 9 was shaky, too. Muscles it at the 4, gets the 9!
How about it?
Big time pickup. Let's remember that one.
And that's huge because that'll force Mike Scroggins to have to get at least the first strike in the 10th frame. Watch this, perfectly done.
Okay, I'll take it.
Pete, if he gets a strike here on his fill shot, we'll shoot 197. That will force Mike Scroggins to get 2 in the 10th. Beautifully done. Scroggins needs a double.
Come on now, get him up.
Great rebound from Weber. Again, he opened up this match with an open frame.
Then he had 3 spare. Looked like he was going to shoot 140. Pete bails out 197. Tremendous.
Pressure on Scroggins. Got to get a strike here at a minimum. Yeah!
There's one.
Gutty toss from Scroggins.
One more and 2 pins. He'll move on. See if Mike Scroggins can erase some of the past demons that he's had to deal with on television.
Again, in the midst of an 8-game televised losing streak is the native of Amarillo, Texas. Is it there? It is! A avoid the gutter ball, and Scroggins will move on.
It's a hard-fought match by both players. They hung in there. They bailed 2 games out. Mike Scroggins pulls it off in 10th frame.
Boy, just when you thought Pete Weber had this one.
I could only let the ball go the first 5 frames.
1. Scroggins picks it up, and he's about to end a nasty TV slide.
That's interesting.
204.
Good shots when you need it.
197. Scroggins moves on. And we revisit the 6th frame in a CLR clean sweep.
Nicely converting the washout for Mike Scroggins.
So Scroggins finally gets that much needed televised win. When we return, what do comedian Jay Moore and 3-seed Denny Delutz have in common? We'll tell you when we return. Welcome back to our coverage of the Dick Weber Open. We take our act to Vegas for the next 2 Sundays. The H&R Block Tournament of Champions next Sunday, and the following Sunday, the PBA Exempt Doubles Classic, both of them coming from Red Rock Casino Resort and Lanes in Las Vegas. Our coverage begins next Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. The following Sunday, 2:30 Eastern, both live on ESPN. So the number 5 seed, Mike Scroggins, has moved on where he'll take on the number 3 seed now, Tommy Delutz from Flushing, New York.
Well, let's see what happens with Mike Scroggins. And he told us, if I can get 1 win under my belt, get off the schneid, look out. Well, he's done that.
He may have found that little trough that he has been hoping to build.
And he's making better shots. He's a little bit more comfortable. He's got the win under his belt, and he's got a little confidence.
Here's Tommy Delutz, 2 Denny's PBA Tour titles on his resume. This will be the best finish of his season. Prior to that, number 9 at the Motor City Classic, as we take a look at the style from the 41-year-old from Flushing.
I've always liked this game. Tommy Delutz very solid at the foul line. That open hand, a la Pete Weber. And Tommy's been trying and working on going straighter and straighter, which bodes well for these tougher conditions. I think another interesting note, we've got a righty and a lefty in this match. And both players are using the same bowling ball.
For Delutz, his last win 102 events ago, the 2001 Long Island Open, where he beat Chris Barnes. And Chris Barnes, today's number 1 seed.
A lot of surface, early rolling bowling ball. See how early that grab there? And that's the thing, you're trying to go straight. You've got to have just the right amount of hit pressure at the release point. A little too much, and that's what the bowling ball does. It breaks loose and it goes high. I can think of easier splits to shoot at than the 3-9-10.
I could think of worse.
Like?
Exactly.
Okay, 7-10. All right, you got a point, but
I'm a half full kind of guy.
interesting. He's not going to hook it at this. He's going to throw a straight ball at it.
That's not good. Nope. You heard that's not good as soon as it left. So an open frame for Delutz.
Normally you would throw a hook ball into this, get it right at the 3-pin, and have it hooked back in there and cover the 9 as well. Tommy doesn't like the looks of the outside part of the lane and chose to throw a straight ball at the 3-9. Now Scroggins.
Working the strike. .610.
He's found pocket though. He's got the ball in the pocket. That one's just a pinch high. Leaving the 6-10, easy conversion. And he'll stay clean after 2 frames.
Scroggins. This is third television appearance of the season and second in the last 4 weeks. 2-0 versus Delutz this week. Asked him to describe the lane conditions. He said they were brutal. Friday night, second board all the way to the 13th. Just trying and guessing. Guessed right there. I'm not sure it's guessing anymore. I think he's found it and he's discovered it and he's honed in.
Yeah, he's got a spot picked out. He's getting a little bit more comfortable now. It's just a matter of repeating shots.
Nice pickup on the strike there for Delutz. It's been kind of a pogo stick week for him. He led after the first block of qualifying, then dropped to 15th and responded by going 8-0 in the second block of match play to get back into the top 5. And he's enjoyed his time in LA following one of his passions. Monday night here, he was at the Comedy Store in West Hollywood. Last night, he was at the Irvine Improv, the 9 p.m. show, to see Jay Moore perform. Loves the stand-up comedy. Fat on the head pin again.
Tommy's got a website, TommyDelutzJr.com, and he says he shares the same webmaster with comedian Dave Attell. Dave Attell's one of my favorite guys. Along with Doug Stanhope, who Tommy likes. He frequents Caroline's in New York City quite a bit, so loves the comedy scene.
He says, I'm like a piece of furniture at Caroline's over there on 49th and Broadway.
Right now trying to tackle this Dick Weber Open lane condition. No laughing matter, my friend.
Dun-dun-dun. Ching. Randy Peterson will
go.
be at the Laugh Hut all week in Orlando if you need him.
I'll be here all week. Thank you, Sheboygan.
Scroggins, the 5 seed. He has found a home. Again, we saw Scroggins and Weber struggle so mightily in the beginning of match number 1. Scroggins closed out that match with 3 strikes and 4 tosses. And here through 4 frames, he has thrown 3 strikes as well. Looking right now for a 3-bagger. We are in ham-bone territory, people.
Righties, look out. Mike Scroggins has got himself a little trough to the pocket now. And he's out there all by himself.
Delutz down 34 in the 5th, working a spare. Much needed strike.
Tommy's got the right lane. Now he's got to figure out this left lane.
He said this week the conditions really fell into what he does best. He's a grinder. Low scoring. Football in the mud. Sunday at Lambeau. But he's in a bit of a hole right now as we begin the 6th.
Why do they call it the frozen tundra at Lambeau Field? Because isn't that kind of redundant? I mean, isn't tundra frozen anyway?
I'll have to talk to somebody about that.
Thanks. Get a research department on that, will you?
Now back-to-back X's for Tommy. And can Delutz move closer to winning his first title in 102 events? We'll find out when we return to Southern California. You're watching ESPN's presentation of the Motel 6 Dick Weber Open. The 161st Denny's PBA Tour event in the great state of California. It's the Motel 6 Dick Weber Open. And the Motel 6 voting result from last week, the question was which oil pattern should be used in the 2008 Motel 6 Roll the Riches, and Cheetah just barely clawed past Chameleon to win it. We'll have another Motel 6 question for you coming up a little bit later.
Did I just see a sign that said Rob Stone for president?
I had my head down. I was reading that copy. Did that really happen? Oh, man. People need to be more informed out there.
Oh.
I'm on the Hambone platform. That's no reason to vote. Hambone!
You had to, huh?
Getting better out of those
It
commercial
puts
breaks.
such a smile on my face. Nobody else understands it. Respect the Hambone. And that kid went to arts and crafts class for that one. That was an effort.
Man.
I know. What have I created?
What have you done with my sport?
I know. I apologize to those who are offended, but to everybody who likes it, bring those Hambone signs to Vegas.
Oh.
Scroggins is on a roll!
The party at Scroggins begins.
Stir it up.
Just another great shot. He's found a home right here between first and second arrow on the left side of the lane, and that's 5 in a row. Tom Delutz now looking for a 3-bagger. Beautiful pitch.
Oh,
Tommy gets a turkey.
Keep the swing in, buddy. Come on.
He needs it. Yeah, we talked about how difficult these lanes were here in match number 1. What has the oil done to start elevating these scores?
Tommy's trying to work on his timing, trying to get the ball from the start to the finish the same way twice. In combating these lanes, watch what Tommy Delutz does with his hand at the bottom of the swing. Notice how his hand stays flat. He tries to control the roll, make it more end over end. That's what Mike Scroggins is doing. That's how they're getting the ball to the pocket.
Looking for a 4-bagger.
Beautiful.
Hambone! Where's the Rob for President sign? Did it really exist? Does it really exist? Oh, they took it down. Man, got me all excited about that, Randy.
Watch the fingers right up the back end of the bowling ball. Controls that roll nice and tight. That helps keep it on line and minimizes change of direction down the lane. Beautifully done.
Here's Scroggins now looking for 6 strikes in a row, working a 24-pin advantage. So 6 in a row for Scroggins. 7 of the 8 frames have been strikes for the young man who could not win on television in years. And now the 5 seed, Mike Scroggins, looking for his 2nd consecutive victory today alone.
Hold, please hold.
Even when it's not going right, it's going well.
My, oh my. Remember we were talking about how tough the lanes were, and the guys are they're gonna struggle trying to get the well. That's 7 in a row, and he could throw 3 more in the 10th for 280.
And Delutz has thrown 4 in a row, now looking for 5. All fat on the head pin there.
Just that way.
You don't have to miss by much to miss the pocket on this, and that was just a board or 2 inside. 1 or 2 inches left of target, and the ball has no chance of holding line. But to put things in perspective on what these guys are doing in this game, Mike Scroggins can strike out to shoot 280. In match play, his high game was 249.
That's a good way to make it.
Picks up the spare. Number 21 on the PBA World Point Rankings is Delutz.
There's some charcoal there.
See most events since the last title for these exempt bowlers, and there's Delutz sitting there at 101. Jack Jurek, you'll be seeing him momentarily. He is the number 2 seed and will be taking on what appears to be Mike Scroggins right now in our 3rd match. Another strike for Tommy. Said he grew up or lives in Queens, but grew up in Jamaica. His mom would bring him to work, and work was opening up the bowling center, and he has been a bowler from the get-go. Always wanted to be a bowler since he was a kid. Self-described practice-aholic.
Smart kid, too. He's got a degree from William Patterson University in Wayne, New Jersey. Degree in journalism.
Something that you and I should have had.
Something that I should have had,
All right,
absolutely.
Stay warm, Berkey. Stay warm.
Another strike for Tommy. This is a really game effort from Tommy, and it looks like it's going to be an effort in defeat.
And normally you would have bet money that the 220 game would win a match today, but not the case. Mike Scroggins, 7 in a row, 3 in the 10th for 280. Tommy Delutz is going to be in the 220s.
Looking to
What is
close
this guy all day?
with a 3-bagger. And he does.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming on.
Ends with a 224. Scroggins needs just 2 pins to win, which was the same case on his final roll in match number 1. Of course, he needed back-to-back strikes before that. Oh, yeah.
Roll, Raggy.
Oh, boy.
Left side looking pretty good now. You stay in one spot long enough with
He's in the past.
an aggressive bowling ball that has surface on it, and that oil will start to go
I didn't have
away.
to shoot too many of this game.
You'll create a friction spot and something for the bowling ball to read off of and hook back into the pocket. And that's what's happening on the left side of the lane for Mike Scroggins.
Oh,
Come on! Would have been 9 in a row.
The spare ball is the red one.
Beautiful game.
You hear Tommy say the spare ball is the red one. Only one spare opportunity until now in this match for Scroggins.
That's shaker 5.
Single pin pickup, no issues today.
Good week. Very good bowling.
269, 224 advantage Scroggins. He has figured out the left side of these lanes. Number 2 seed, Jack Jurek, could go in the PBA record books today for a less than enviable reason. We'll explain when we return. The Motel 6 Dick Weber Open is brought to you by Atonic, the official footwear of the PBA. Atonic, first one there. By Motel 6, official lodging partner of the PBA. By H&R Block. When you got H&R Block, you got people. And by the United States Bowling Congress, ensuring the integrity and protecting the future of the sport of bowling. Bowl with us. Randy Peterson, Rob Stone back here with you in Fountain Valley, California, to take a look at the Aaron's Dream Seats. Those 2 fans upgraded. I think the guy on the left is the chef here, actually. Good job. Upgraded to the Aaron's Dream Seats. Great view as they get set to take on, which is essentially our semifinal match. Mike Scroggins, the 5 seed, taking on number 2 seed, Jack Jurek. Again, Scroggins, the sole lefty out here today, and he has found a bit of a groove. A 65-pin advantage between, or change in the positive from match 1 to match 2. Here is Jurek. Missing the head pin.
Yeah, let's not get carried away, Jackson.
And very unusual line for Jack Jurek. You know, Jack has always been what we would consider a power stroker, a guy that's kind of in between. He doesn't throw it real straight, doesn't hook it a whole lot, somebody right in between. And Jack told us last night that he played around the 4th arrow all week long. Very unusual.
Generally, Jurek has been lit up on television. Opponents averaging just under an eyelash under 250 versus him.
That's pretty good. Except for Jack.
Here's Scroggins, 204 and 269 today.
Ringing 7.
Hey, another one.
And another single spare pickup. Take a look at how the 5 and the 2 seeds match up.
Jack Jurek quietly having a decent year. making his first telecast. Mike Scroggins, 3 shows already this season. Still looking for his first win of 07-08.
Scroggins rolls with that thick wrist brace on his left hand. And he knocks down the strike. He's pretty much had that ever since he started bowling at the age of 13. He used to play basketball as a kid, seriously sprained that wrist, and his coach said, hey, you know, you might want to try this wrist brace. So he tried it. It worked. Whenever he takes it off and bowls with it, that wrist still hurts. So as he says, he'd rather bowl pain-free. So the brace stays. Still trying to find that pocket is Jurek, the native of Lackawanna, New York, which is just south of Buffalo. Grew up there, lives now in Lancaster, New York. Still in the Buffalo area.
And with all the different bowling balls and brands out on the market, how often do you see 3 guys using the exact same bowling ball? Tommy Delutz, Jack Jurek, Mike Scroggins.
It's really been a wonderful week of bowling here for Jurek. Finished each round of qualifying in the top 4, and in match play was no worse than 7th at any point. This will be his first top 10 finish of the season. His best result prior to today was number 20 at the Atonic Championship. Did beat Mike Scroggins earlier this week, 235 to 188.
Each shot getting a little better.
Jack just trying to get fine-tuned. One of the nice guys out on tour. Past winner of the Steve Nagy Sportsmanship Award winners. His ball comes in just a little bit light here. But he said, you know, Randy, it was really neat because after I qualified for the telecast, I had guys like Chris Barnes, Wes Malott, Ryan Schaefer coming up and giving me congratulatory hugs and said it really meant a lot.
Jurek is looking to break the longest drought on the tour, seeking his first title since March 25th of 95 when he won the Tums Classic 12 years, 9 months, 26 days ago.
I remember that that win. It was in Windsor Locks, Connecticut.
The Bradley Bowl.
I was there.
How'd you bowl?
Can't remember. I think I made a match play.
Good
Spare, strike, strike for Scroggins.
Mike Scroggins looking to get back on the gravy train with biscuit wheels. Get on his opponent early and stay on him. Just apply the pressure while the guys are struggling to find the pocket and get fine-tuned. Jack Jurek's coming in cold. He's got a tough go at getting to the pocket. Mike Scroggins, he's got momentum going. All he wants to do is continue throwing strikes at his opponent.
Again, the lone lefty out here today, Mike Scroggins.
Carry. Yeah.
Drop and give me 10.
Oh, yeah, that just happened.
Jurek rolled the only 300 game this week. It came in round 1 of the round robin. 50 300 games have been rolled this season, an average of 4.17 per tournament.
Short.
Again, missing the pocket left of the head pin.
Jack Jurek actually went to school with Mike Scroggins, West Texas State University. Now it's West Texas A&M. So these two know each other.
We asked him if he had any great college stories for us about Scroggins. He said, yeah, no great stories, just heartbreaking losses. Oh, sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
I have to sign myself up for that.
College was supposed to be fun.
Yeah, best 4 years of your life. That's what my dad told me. And he was right.
Jack Jurek recently altered his approach. He had kind of a so-so first half, so he went to 4 steps last week in Medford. Here he is a week later on the show.
And after taking away that 1 step, it changed the timing. Obviously, he didn't see an immediate result, but he felt some progress was there, a positive change. And he says it's created a bit of a flat spot again. Saw the lanes real well this week, but he's struggling here.
And that flat spot you're referring to is at the bottom of the swing where he gives the players a little bit bigger window at the release point.
It has been all spares for Jurek here.
Come on, Mikey.
Still without a strike. Speaking of strikes, Scroggins has thrown 3 in a row.
And, Rob, it's hard to deviate from your game plan. I mean, you play the lanes a certain way all week long. I just think that Jack should be further right than he is right now, and he should amp the speed up and go straighter and more direct. A lot along the lines of where Tommy Delutz was playing the lanes in the last match.
Shot. Yeah.
Hambone!
Oh, no!
Is that our third ham bone of the day? It is a good day.
Hey, Rob.
I know.
Rob, I got to go. I'll see you.
I know. What have I done? Scroggins up 36 as we begin the 6th.
Hook.
It does hook. 5 in a row.
Uh-oh.
Man, oh man. Is Scroggins on the roll when we return another Dick Weber memory, and we'll learn who will duel Chris Barnes for today's title.
In the All-Star, they were lined up in chairs, you know, and I'm sitting in a chair like I am now, and he's sitting in front of me, and I kind of leaned over and looked over, and poor guy, his hand was up there, and he had this cord plaster up and down both fingers and his thumb, and I says, God, it just looked like somebody beat his hand at that time. I looked at mine. Mine wasn't beat up, but not like his. In them days, you only got one practice ball in each lane, and the poor guy threw one in the left gutter, one in the right gutter, and it looked like he had tears in his eyes from the pain. Then he started with 9 in a row. I guess I didn't feel so sorry for him after that. It was amazing that he could do that.
And we would like to thank senior bowler Bill McCorkle for providing us with those memories of Dick Weber that we have heard on today's show. The sound bites are from a Dick Weber documentary that Bill is putting together, and you can learn more about that at dickwebervideo.com. Jack Jurek down 46 as he begins his 6th frame. There we go.
Well, there looks like he moved a little bit right, went a little bit straighter. He catches his first strike of the match.
Ain't gonna shut me out.
Almost leaves stone 9 here, gets a little help from a friend. But the way that Mike Scroggins is putting it to him, Jack Jurek's in that situation now where he can't miss in order to have a shot at winning this match.
Last season was a career one for Jurek, finished 12th. Slow start this season, he's 27th right now. And another. Woo! Where were those throws? Frames 1 through 5.
Well, he made a big adjustment. You saw how deep he was playing when the match first started.
Zephyr out of commercial for a change.
But it's Scroggins who's now looking for a 6-pack. No pin standing.
Hey, Rob, I'll be right back. I got to go get some butter to go with that sweet roll.
What is it with you and rolls and biscuits today?
Buddy, I'm hungry.
And it looked like Scroggins might have slammed a pin in the upper shelf of the system back there. Looks like they got it figured out. Scroggins with a huge advantage here in the 8th. Head to PBA.com where you can join the more than 12,000 people who have already joined bowling's digital destination, Bowl Space. At Bowl Space, you can share stories, videos, and pictures with bowling fans from around the world. It's easy to join. All you need to do is click on the Bowl Space link at PBA.com.
I get some shots of you bowling next week. I'm putting them on there.
Wait till you see my outfit. Scroggins. Again! stand back from Mike Scroggins.
That's a bad man, and the party is on.
Chris Barnes, you have been warned.
They sure do both good.
Mike Scroggins is on a tear. 7 strikes in a row after an opening spare. Jurek looking for a 3-bagger.
No.
And not finding it.
Nope.
Well, the right-handers came into today thinking, well, this is going to be a grind out, just keep it in play and make your spares, and Mike Scroggins really threw a wrench in that idea. Mike Scroggins has created a shot on the left side of the lane through practice and where he's been playing to where now he can miss a little bit left and right if he throws a good shot and get the ball in the pocket.
One of these times.
One of the hopes for Jurek was to win today, and that would get him into next week's Tournament of Champions.
One of these times.
It doesn't appear that will be the case. Down 58 here in the 9th.
Gosh, Jack. Nice. Actually, lucky to be 9.
Tough spot to be in. Not a great ball reaction. Moving around all over the place, and your opponent's got 7 in a row at you.
We mentioned Jurek threw the only 300 game this week. The first shot of the next game after that 300, his shoe struck. And he went flying. Lane violation.
Took a header.
Hit the wood, yeah. Floor burns.
Ended up out on the lane, and then I said, Jack, did you, of course, because that's a foul. I said, Jack, did you cover the spare? And he goes, oh, yeah.
It's all about rebounding.
Shot. Oh.
He's in cruise control right now, Rob. He knows that he has a distinct advantage over the righties, or at least the last couple of opponents. And just when it looked like Pete Weber was going to snatch that first match away from him,
Hey, I spare going too.
he throws that key double in the 10th frame, and he's been unstoppable since.
So Scroggins has won this match. No way for Jurek to catch up. That might have been his junkiest toss of this match.
He may have just been searching for something, too, right there, because the match is over. He may just have made an adjustment there in the 10th frame. He may have moved in a little bit to see if he still has the hold that he's looking for. Could just be a test shot.
Picks up the spare. One more toss for Scroggins. And Scroggins right now thinking about the title match. He has moved all the way up from the number 5 seed to roll in today's title.
That's how I won my first title, Rob. Qualified 5th, went up the ladder.
Hey, very bold in those feet.
Scroggins wins it with a 254. 7 times Chris Barnes has been the number 1 seed going to the finals. Only twice he's won it from that spot. We'll see him when we return. Welcome you back to the Fountain Bowl here in Fountain Valley, California. Our thanks to Dave Osborne and Gary Foreman, Fountain Bowl shareholders and vice presidents for putting on this event here. Next week, we'll take our act to the Red Rock Lanes in Las Vegas, the 2008 H&R Block Tournament of Champions. Live coverage on ESPN at 12:30 Eastern. And Randy, we may be seeing you on TV in another fashion.
No, doubt it. Yeah, I'm competing for the first time next week, for the first time since last season's U.S. Open. Looking forward to it.
That's it?
That's it.
What kind of optimism is that?
Looking forward to it, buddy.
All right, this week's Motel 6 text-to-vote question is, what bowler would you like to see competing in the Roll to Riches? Is Randy in there? text roll A for the defending champion, roll B for this season's points leader, roll C for this season's player of the year, or roll D for this season's average leader. You should have been in there, Randy.
Thanks, pal.
You can text in up to 10 times per day until Friday at 3 Eastern. There is a 99-cent charge per vote, plus your standard text messaging rates do apply. Tune in next week to find out which category won. Well, he had the best average and strike percentage this week, but will that carry over to today's final as Chris Barnes looks for his first title and TB win of the season? Tuesday, we began with a field of 166 bowlers. We are now down to the final two, Mike Scroggins and Chris Barnes. Oh, I didn't know my mom was in the crowd. The 2008 Motel 6 Dick Weber Open Finals set to come your way as we take a look, Randy, at the Geico Championship recap.
Get off me, Rob. Match number 1, Mike Scroggins defeated the great Pete Weber by the score of 204 to 197. A double in the 10th sealed the deal for Scroggins. And then in match number 2, Mike Scroggins defeated Tommy Delutz Jr. by the score of 269 to 224. 8 straight strikes in the middle of the match for Scroggy. And then in match number 3, the party at Scroggy's rolls on. He defeated Jack Jurek by the score of 254 to 199, setting up a great championship match for the 2008 Motel 6 Dick Weber Open.
Well done, Randy.
Thank you. Rob Stone for president. Where did they get that picture? And no, you don't look like you wouldn't rob the people of their money. What, with that smile?
I would make a horrendous politician.
It's like the cat that ate the mouse, you know? That's just not going to fly here, pal. You're not getting anything over on me.
I got no votes in the Reno or South Carolina primaries yesterday. I failed to stump there. I spent my time here in Fountain Valley, and I have 1 vote in California. But it's a big state. Here's Chris Barnes, the number 1 seed. 0-4 on television this season.
Again, Chris Barnes is going to start this match using a similar line that Tommy Delutz played. He's got the highest game of any right-hander today, Tommy did. The 220s. It's 24 to be exact. Jack Jurek tried to play in early. That didn't work. We saw Pete Weber playing out. Chris Barnes right around the second arrow. And he knows coming in that he's going to have to throw a lot of strikes because the Scroggins locomotive has been on quite a roll.
7 strikes in match number 3 as he took down Jack Jurek. 254, 199.
Hard clicking.
He heard him say he heard some clicking, a photographer snapping some pictures.
And I think it's something to note here. Mike Scroggins threw a completely different bowling ball on that shot there than he's used all day long. And when you go back and look at his scores, 254, 269, 204 to squeak by the first match. I'm not really sure what it is that he's seeing and why he would switch balls. Now he's going back to the bowling ball he was using to start. So interesting strategy early on.
Both Barnes and Scroggins open up with spares.
Mike Scroggins is hearing our down lane photographer, and he's been here the whole day doing what he does, and now all of a sudden, Mike Scroggins is hearing it. What do you think, a little concentration lapse?
Yeah, a little head game there with himself. Here's Barnes. 5th top 10 finish of the season. Knocks them all down as we take a view at our matchup. The number 1 seed versus the number 5 seed. Chris Barnes versus Mike Scroggins. Both guys looking for their first title this season.
Mike Scroggins on the roll. He's been winning every game, looking to sweep the field today. Chris Barnes, the consummate technician. I don't think there's anybody out here at garnering a game plan each and every week. Chris Barnes has his game plan. Let's see if it'll pan out in this title match.
Barnes, very adaptable. 4th different oil pattern he's made a TV show on this season. Yeah!
Just a great talent, and Chris Barnes allows himself to do what he does best. He's one of the game's best. And look at this line that he's playing. Just right a second arrow, hand dead up the back of the ball, controlling that end-over-end rotation. And he likes it.
Back-to-back jacks for Scroggins.
And back to the ball that he originally started with. Interesting that he tried that different ball in the first frame, didn't work out, went back to what he's been having success with.
We talked about the massive brace on his left wrist. He also is sporting a brace on his left ankle. Loose ligaments, ankle basically not held in place properly, causing the tendon and tendinitis. Rubbing up against that tendon, the brace holds it in place, locks it in. Tendinitis has gone away.
Carry. Yeah.
3-bagger.
Yeah.
Scroggins seemed a bit rattled in frame number 1, but he has responded with 3 consecutive strikes. The conclusion of the Motel 6 Dick Weber Open when we return. The Motel 6 Dick Weber Open is brought to you by Aaron's. Nobody beats Aaron's. Nobody. By CLR. All kinds of dirty, one kind of clean. By Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com for a free DVD. What will you discover? Go RVing. And by Denny's. Denny's always works. We are with you now till the conclusion of our championship match between Chris Barnes and Mike Scroggins. Our CLR clean sweep has the distinctive taste of ham bone.
Shot. Yeah.
Scroggins in match number 3. Frames 2 through 8 were strikes as he pulled away to win 254 to 199. Up now, Chris Barnes, down 10 in the 4th. A win today, and he moves into a tie with Mike Wolf for 4th in the PBA Player of the Year points race.
A lot. Golly.
Walter Ray Williams Jr. still on top of the Denny's PBA Player of the Year points race. Patrick Allen did not bowl this week, took the week off. And there's Barnes sitting at number 8 with a great chance to move up to a tie with Wolf at number 4. Takes care of the 4-pin spare.
Yeah, covering the bucket, not an easy task, especially on a tough oil pattern.
Last week in Medford, Barnes finished 42nd as we take a look at our Flomax weekly update.
He worked with legendary coach John Jowdy on Thursday, really turned things around this week. You got to watch for Chris. Watch the ball placement into the swing. If it gets early, he gets into trouble.
There we go.
Like that one. We asked him his goals this season. He said 5 shows and a win. This is his 5th show. He's still looking for that elusive win. Down the road on that resume, wants to win Player of the Year at least once.
He's got all the tools to do it.
Scroggins sitting on 3 strikes.
Boy, if you're Chris Barnes, that's exactly what you want to see, because you don't want Scroggins starting to string 6, 7, 8 in a row on you. Pretty good shot here, though. Mike Scroggins has been almost flawless since game 1 in terms of keeping the ball into the 1-2 pocket.
Whoa, yeah.
And again, match one was a little dicey for everybody, Scroggins and Pete Weber. Scroggins winning at 204, 197.
But after that, you know, he got comfortable. His shot developed on the left side of the lane, and you know, he got a good mindset knowing that all he had to do was make some good shots and he could get his ball to the pocket without a problem. And boy, he just started striking.
Again, we mentioned Scroggins came into today riding an 8-game TV losing streak, and he said, I just got to get that first win and things are going to be okay.
Well done. And he looks like he's having fun out there, Rob. You know, he's in control of his emotions, he's thinking the right thoughts, and he knows what his bowling ball is going to do when he lets go of it.
Summing up the season so far, Barnes said, overall pretty good. Take away some Sundays, it's been really solid.
One right of theirs. Bucket.
What Chris is referring to is the previous shot on the right lane, he left the bucket. He says one right of that spot left the bucket, one left of it goes high or through the nose. And that's what you get on a tough oil pattern, and that's what the righties have had all day. They've never been able to develop anything.
4-6.
My thinking should have been, or my thinking the guys should have done more in terms of warm-ups prior to going on air. They should have played closer to one another, maybe playing the same line, and therefore creating a little bit better reaction on the right side of the lane, something that Mike Scroggins did on the left side of the lane. But you had 4 right-handers that basically played all over the lane.
Down 25. Needs a strike.
Good shot.
Missed the head pin. Didn't curl in. And how many times this season on television have we seen that kind of perplexed, anguished look from Barnes?
Well, this shot looks like it's on line and just never hooks down the lanes, which tells me either A, he threw it too hard, or B, he completely missed it at the release point. Directionally, that ball was on line.
And another open frame. Now the hole is 36.
And right now we need to get Mike Scroggins a drool bucket because he's foaming at the mouth after watching back-to-back open frames in a title match.
Slow roller. And Scroggins will be happy to walk away with that one with 9 down.
Not the best shot in the world, but again, it's another opportunity for a 9 spare and to maintain a 36-pin lead with only 3 frames left.
9 spares are just fine, particularly when your opponent has thrown back-to-back open frames. Last time the number 5 seed won the Denny's PBA Tour title, Tommy Jones did it in 2005 at the Japan Cup. Scroggins close to doing the same thing today.
Oh, yeah.
Every time he yells, oh or oh no, it's high flush.
Oh, I got away with that one.
Smile says it all. It's been that kind of day for Scroggins. Again, he fortunate to be here. He had to roll back-to-back strikes and then just get 2 pins to eclipse Pete Weber. And Scroggins had been struggling. That was in match 1, and he did it. And since then, he has been on a tear.
Chris Barnes, ball change, looking to find something other than having to thread the needle on every shot. Well, it's not over yet. Chris Barnes can strike out to shoot 213. He would need some help from Mike Scroggins, and anything can happen on this tough oil pattern. But the other thing is he knows if he strikes here in the 9th frame, he can put a little bit of pressure on Mike Scroggins.
Next week, our coverage heads to Las Vegas, the H&R Block Tournament of Champions. A little bit different start time for you next Sunday, 12:30 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Buddy, I've been practicing for Vegas. Hit me!
It's the wrong kind of practice, buddy.
I practiced bowling, too.
Oh, all right, good. Barnes will be there, so will Scroggins. Yes! Like that ball change.
And what he's doing right now is he's trying to get in the head of Mike Scroggins, letting him know that, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I still have a shot. You give me an opening, I'll take advantage of it.
Good shot here. Good shot.
Let's see how Mike Scroggins responds.
Looking for his 4th tour title.
Come on, carry. Yeah!
Big response.
Huge! A little Scarface there. Say hello to my little friend. How'd you like that one, huh?
Note to self, limit Randy's caffeine intake from now on.
Buddy, I'm excited. I'm sorry. One strike here, it's all over. Mike Scroggins right now in the 220s. A strike here will put him in the 230s. And he will win for the 4th time in his career.
9 pins for the title.
Look a little.
9's all he needed.
All right.
All he needed. Mike Scroggins gets tour title number 4 and the first of the season. This after coming into today riding an 8-game televised losing streak that was at the time the 5th longest all time.
And who says I can't spare? Yeah!
Never missed one all day.
Only twice since 1998 has a number 5 seed moved all the way up the ladder to win. Make it 3 times since 98. Mike Scroggins, your winner.
Yes!
Just a brilliant performance.
Congratulations, Mike. You probably owe me in one of these Motel 6 things here. Yeah, you owe me. Yeah!
Enjoy it, Mike. Well deserved. Barnes will roll out.
Boy, I was this close, too. Trick shot? Yeah.
The title is no longer in doubt, so a trick shot from Chris Barnes. Love it. Take it. Get it. Yo! Man. Count to 0, but who cares? I love the effort from Chris Barnes, but Mike Scroggins lifts up the title. Our winner of the 2008 Motel 6 Dick Weber Open, coming all the way up from the number 5 seed spot. Be sure to join us again next Sunday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern, here on ESPN for our coverage of the H&R Block Tournament of Champions, coming your way live from the Red Rock Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Coming up next, International Speed Billiards. For Randy Peterson and our entire crew, I'm Rob Stone. Congratulations, Mike Scroggins. We'll see you next week in Vegas.